She paid the bills, kept her head down, and built something revolutionary in silence. But when her entitled sister, manipulative brother-in-law, and clueless parents crossed a line too far, Lucy didn't just walk away, she fought back. What began as a family freeloading saga unravels into a high-stakes thriller of deception, corporate espionage, and emotional warfare. In a world where trust is currency and betrayal runs blood deep, one woman dares to rewrite the code of loyalty, justice, and self-worth. Lucy Carter didn't consider herself special. She preferred blending into the background. But in the quiet recesses of her mind, she held dreams bigger than most could imagine. At 22, she was a fresh college graduate with a degree in computer programming. Unlike her classmates who scrambled for jobs and internships, Lucy had secured a full-time position with Softtech Solutions thanks to a summer internship during her third year that had left a lasting impression on her supervisors. The offer came with a solid salary, enough to afford her apartment. But when she shared the news with her parents, she was met with an unexpected plea. "Lucy, we were hoping you might consider staying with us a bit longer," her mother said gently one evening over dinner. Her father nodded beside her, visibly uncomfortable. "Your mother and I, we're having a hard time keeping up with bills. You know, expenses are going up. If you stayed and maybe contributed, it would help us a great deal." Lucy hesitated, fork hovering above her plate. Her parents had done everything for her, supported her through school, paid for college, never letting her feel the financial strain they bore. She couldn't say no. How much would help? She asked quietly. Her father suggested $1,000 a month, and so Lucy stayed. She became the family's financial backbone, covering more than just bills. She paid for groceries, utilities, and quietly covered unexpected expenses. She watched her savings grow slowly, her life limited to basic needs and occasional indulgences. She didn't mind. It gave her comfort to know she was helping. Her older sister, Olivia, couldn't have been more different. 7 years older, Olivia lived in a luxurious rented apartment across town with her husband, James, and their 7-year-old son, Ethan. Olivia had always chased glamour, designer clothes, weekly salon visits, exotic vacations, even if they were funded by credit. She worked part-time at a boutique to fight boredom, as she put it. James had a well-paying corporate job, but their money vanished as fast as it came. "Oh my God, Lucy, are you seriously wearing that shirt again?" Olivia had scoffed during one of her routine Sunday visits, scrolling through her phone while lounging on their parents' couch. Lucy glanced down at her blue t-shirt. "What's wrong with it? I saw you wearing that in your Facebook photo from last year," Olivia said, rolling her eyes. "Don't you ever buy new clothes? The Stella McCartney line dropped weeks ago." Lucy forced a smile. "These work fine." Olivia sighed. "This is why you're still single. No guy wants a girl who looks like she shops at Goodwill." Lucy bit her tongue. She didn't point out that Olivia's spending habits kept her paycheck to paycheck, while Lucy had a growing savings account. She didn't mention that she was also developing an app, something she worked on every night after her day job. Her app, a home security system that integrated seamlessly with existing camera systems, was her passion project. It used AI to identify threats, distinguish human from animal motion, and send smart alerts. No other product on the market offered such seamless intelligence. "Lucy, it's almost midnight," her mother would complain as she stood in Lucy's doorway in her robe. "You're running up our electricity bill. All she does is play those stupid games," her father once whispered. "No wonder she can't find a boyfriend." Lucy kept her head down. They didn't understand, and she didn't have the energy to explain. But all of that was about to change. It started on a seemingly ordinary Tuesday evening. Lucy came home from work to find the driveway packed with cars. The front door was propped open by a cardboard box. Inside, chaos, suitcases, boxes, furniture. Her sister Olivia was directing their parents like they were movers. "What's going on?" Lucy asked, frozen in the doorway. "Are you moving in?" James stepped into the hallway, looking disheveled, his shirt wrinkled, tie loosened. "James lost his job," Olivia announced before he could speak. "Can you believe how unfairly they treated him? His friend betrayed him." "What happened?" James looked down. "It's complicated," he muttered. Creative accounting, they called it. Olivia interjected. He borrowed money from the company, but he was going to pay it back. His so-called friend found out during an audit. You mean he was stealing? Lucy said carefully. The room fell silent. That's a horrible thing to say, Olivia snapped. Lucy said nothing more. She knew logic wouldn't win. That night, over dinner, her mother announced that Olivia, James, and Ethan would be staying just until they get back on their feet. Lucy nodded, but she knew this wasn't temporary. Within days, Olivia took over the house like a queen reclaiming her throne. James complained constantly about his new lower-paying job. Olivia made no effort to help financially. Instead, she criticized meals, the air conditioning, and even the water pressure. This chicken is so dry, Olivia scoffed one night. Don't you know how to use seasoning? Their mother just nodded, apologetic. Lucy seethed when Olivia cornered her in the kitchen to ask for $300 for Ethan's new shoes and a trip to an amusement park. Lucy sighed and handed it over, but when it happened again the following week, Lucy pushed back. Maybe you should consider working full-time, she said at dinner. The boutique is hiring. You know I need to be available for Ethan. Olivia snapped. Mom and Dad are always home, that's not the point. Olivia shouted, storming off. Their mother scolded Lucy. How could you be so heartless? Lucy bit her lip. No one wanted the truth, just her money. Finally, her app was ready. She presented it to her boss, Mark. His eyes lit up with excitement. This could change everything, he said. Lucy, I want to buy it. $500,000 upfront, plus royalties. Her heart raced. $500,000. She accepted. She kept it secret. That night, she called a realtor. I'm ready to buy an apartment. Quiet, close to work, cash offer. Within 3 days, she signed the papers. She wasn't ready for what she'd find. When she returned home that evening, her belongings were in the hallway, books, clothes, even her childhood stuff bare. What the hell? She rushed upstairs. Her room was transformed. Superhero posters, video games. Ethan sat on her bed. Aunt Lucy, look at my new room. Olivia appeared in the doorway. We moved Ethan in. He needed space. And where am I supposed to sleep? The sofa, her mother said softly. And Ethan's old room. Olivia needed a dressing room. Lucy's jaw clenched. I won't be sleeping on the sofa, she said calmly. I'll be sleeping in my apartment. Your imaginary apartment? Olivia sneered. I bought it last week. Silence. You bought? With what money? That doesn't matter. Lucy walked downstairs, called a moving company, and scheduled a pickup for the next morning. You can't be serious, her father said. I'm done being treated like this, she said. I'm moving out. Don't leave like this, her mother pleaded. Lucy didn't respond. The next morning, the movers arrived. As her boxes were loaded into the truck, Olivia shouted, You owe us. After everything we've done. Lucy turned. What exactly have you done for me? She asked quietly. She walked out without waiting for an answer. Her new apartment was quiet, sunlit, and hers. She turned off her phone for a week. When she finally turned it on, she was bombarded with voicemails and messages, alternating between begging, threatening, and guilt-tripping. She ignored them. Until one Saturday morning, she drove back to the family house, hoping for a calm conversation. They were waiting. We miss you, her mother said, eyes brimming with tears. You can have your room back. Olivia can make do without the dressing room. Lucy raised an eyebrow. What changed? They hesitated. You need my money, Lucy said. No. Her mother lied. We just want you home, Olivia added. Maybe you can help us with bills from your new place? Lucy shook her head. I'm done being your ATM. How did you even afford it? Olivia demanded. You're just a junior developer. I sold an app, the one I was working on while you thought I was gaming. Wait, for how much? James asked. $500,000, plus royalties. The room fell silent. Lucy stood. I'll always be your daughter and sister, but I won't be your resource anymore. She walked out, leaving their stunned silence behind. 6 months passed. She never returned. She thrived new projects, travel, a romantic partner who valued her quiet strength. Her royalties grew. Her peace deepened. Sometimes she wondered if she did the right thing, but then she remembered their faces, their betrayal, their entitlement, and she knew she had chosen herself, and she would never be anyone's shadow again. 6 months of freedom had passed. Lucy Carter had built a sanctuary in her new apartment, a world untouched by family drama, built from code, courage, and clarity. She woke each morning to the sunrise filtering through gauzy curtains, brewed her coffee in silence, and spent her evenings working on a second app that was gaining momentum, a smart personal assistant for cybersecurity compliance. The solitude didn't feel lonely. It felt earned. But peace, she would soon discover, has an expiration date. It started with a LinkedIn message from someone named Adrian Ward. His profile picture showed a man in his mid-30s with sea glass green eyes and a business casual smile. According to his credentials, he was the VP of Development at Sentinel Core, a growing cybersecurity firm based downtown. Adrian Ward. Hi Lucy, I came across your home security system project while reviewing integration models with Softtech. Impressive work. Would love to chat if you're open to freelance consulting. Flattered and curious, Lucy replied. What began as a brief Zoom call evolved into an in-person meeting at a high-end bistro near the financial district. Adrian was polished, intuitive, and genuinely interested in her ideas. He asked smart questions and gave thoughtful feedback, not the kind that patted her on the head, but the kind that challenged her. By their third meeting, the conversation had shifted from code to coffee preferences and childhood memories. By their fifth, he asked her to dinner that had nothing to do with business. Romance crept in like a summer tide. Adrian became a constant presence. He never invaded, only offered. He'd show up with takeout when she was deep in debugging. He asked about her boundaries before crossing any. For the first time, Lucy felt seen. I don't want to be just another distraction, he said one evening. You're not, she said softly, but just as her life felt stable, maybe even joyful, cracks began to form. It started with a strange email from support@softtechsolutions.com. Subject: pending royalty adjustment notice. Message: we are finalizing our quarterly payments. Your royalty account has been flagged for re-evaluation due to internal restructuring. Expect changes. She forwarded it to Mark, her old boss. Mark: that's not from us. Delete and block. Might be a scam, but 2 days later, her bank account was frozen. Lucy called the bank. The clerk was apologetic but vague. There's been a flagged transaction pattern linked to internal family-related disputes. We need you to come in and verify everything in person. Her heart dropped. Family? Her mind raced to Olivia. That evening, Lucy logged into her bank's portal. Recent login IPs included one from an unfamiliar device in her old neighborhood, her family's house. Her voice trembled as she dialed the number she'd tried to forget. Hello. Her mother answered. Mom, has anyone accessed my mail or online accounts from your house? A long pause. Lucy, sweetheart, we didn't mean any harm. What did you do? Olivia was trying to understand your finances. To help. To help? She thought maybe you'd forgotten about the family. That maybe if she understood how much you had, she could explain it to us better. You gave her access. I didn't know. She said you asked her to check something. She logged into your old laptop, the one you left behind. I didn't leave it behind. I hid it. Lucy ended the call. Her pulse raced. If Olivia had accessed her accounts, what else had she touched? 2 hours later, her phone buzzed. A known number. This is Officer Daniel Hayes with the Cybercrime Division. We'd like to speak to you regarding fraudulent activity associated with your name. Lucy froze. The next day, she met Officer Hayes in a glass-walled office downtown. A second officer, Agent Callahan, introduced herself as part of an ongoing financial fraud investigation. Someone had been using Lucy's credentials to apply for small business loans, open lines of credit, and launder money through cryptocurrency exchanges. The behavior was suspicious, But because Lucy's name and details were used, she was temporarily flagged as a potential suspect. She protested her innocence, but the officers were cool and professional. You'll need to provide all digital logs and device histories. We recommend filing for a forensic audit. I have an idea who might have done this, she said. They nodded. That'll help. But proving intent is complicated, especially when it's family. That night, Lucy couldn't sleep. Adrian brought her chamomile tea. Talk to me, he said. She hesitated. What if someone I used to love is trying to ruin me? Then we prove they failed, he said, brushing her hair back. You're not alone in this. She looked into his eyes, trusted them, but the next day brought a fresh betrayal. Lucy walked into her building lobby to find a woman waiting. Hi, you must be Lucy Carter, the stranger said with a smile too wide. Yes, I'm Clara, Olivia's friend. She said I could pick up the spare keys for the apartment. The one she's renting from you? Lucy's breath caught. I'm sorry. Clara blinked. She posted it for sublet on Facebook, said her sister. You were overseas for a year and she's managing the lease. Lucy nearly collapsed. Within the hour, she found the post. Olivia had photos of Lucy's apartment, listed under a fake name but traceable via shared Facebook metadata. Worse, comments indicated several people had already paid deposits. Lucy's fury boiled over. She contacted her lawyer. We're filing for fraud, identity theft, and property misrepresentation, he confirmed. We'll issue a cease and desist, then pursue criminal charges. 2 weeks later, the case moved fast. Olivia was served with legal notices. James tried to reach out, leaving voicemails filled with apologies and excuses. Olivia went too far, he said in one. I didn't know. Please don't destroy our family. Lucy didn't reply. To the hearing, Olivia showed up in designer heels and feigned ignorance, but the digital footprint told a different story. The judge was unimpressed. We'll proceed to a formal investigation. Miss Carter, you're advised to implement full digital lockdown. Change all credentials. If fraud is proven, your sister could face time. Lucy walked out of court exhausted. Adrian was waiting by the steps. You're not alone, he reminded her, but something gnawed at her. Olivia was impulsive, but not tech-savvy. Who helped her? That night, Lucy rechecked the IP logs. One of them matched Sentinel Core, Adrian's company. Her breath hitched. Was it a coincidence? Or was Adrian not who he said he was? The suspicion hollowed her chest. She stared at her phone, torn, and then it rang. Adrian's name lit the screen. She answered. Lucy, he said, voice calm. I think we need to talk. I haven't been honest with you. Lucy's fingers hovered above the keyboard. Her apartment, usually her sanctuary, suddenly felt foreign, cold. She hadn't answered Adrian. Not yet. Instead, she sat in silence, heart thudding in her chest, replaying every conversation, every compliment, every detail he'd shared. I haven't been honest with you. She pressed play on the voicemail he'd left minutes after the call ended unanswered. Adrian's voice. Lucy, please don't shut me out. I know what you're thinking, and you have every reason to question everything now. But I didn't lie about who I am. I lied about why I met you. Click. Her hands trembled. The web of betrayal wasn't just expanding, it was tightening around her. The next day, Lucy met him in a public cafe. Not their usual quiet hideaway, but a bright, busy spot with eyes and cameras. Just in case, Adrian looked different. Less polished, tired. I didn't want to hurt you, he said, not even pretending to reach for her hand. Start with the truth, she said, voice like steel. I was hired to investigate you, he said, by Sentinel Core's CEO, Victor Randall. Lucy blinked. Why? Because your app, the one you sold to Softtech, it started dominating the space we were trying to break into. Randall suspected you had backing, maybe IP that wasn't entirely yours. He thought Softtech bought stolen code. She felt the ground tilt beneath her. And you pretended to date me, to find proof. No, he said quickly. I agreed to meet you. dig around. But I fell for you, Lucy. That was real. I tried to tell Randall to back off, that there was nothing shady about your coat, but he wouldn't let it go. Lucy's voice dropped. Did you give him my files? Adrian hesitated. Her heart cracked. I didn't know how deep I was until it was too late, he said. Lucy stood up. I trusted you. I'll fix it, he said, rising too. I can get you into Sentinel Corps' data servers. There's more to this. Randall's not just after your coat. He's building something illegal. She narrowed her eyes. Why should I believe you now? Because they're not just targeting you, he said. They're using your name to frame a competitor. They're planting evidence. Lucy didn't sleep that night. The next morning, she met with Agent Callahan. There's a bigger player, Lucy said. Not just my sister. Sentinel Corps is involved. Callahan's eyes sharpened. We've had whispers, nothing solid. I can get you in, Lucy said, if you give me protection. A day later, Lucy found herself walking through the glossy revolving doors of Sentinel Corps headquarters under the pretense of a freelance contract Adrian arranged. She wore a wire. Her phone was set to live stream directly to the cybercrime task force. She was bait now. Adrian had paved her access. Inside, the sleek corridors and glass offices buzzed with activity, but Lucy's skin prickled with every step. She was escorted to a small lab room. A desktop sat waiting with her credentials preloaded. She plugged in her encrypted USB. 30 minutes into combing server logs, Lucy found it, an entire folder titled Project Recast. Inside were forged versions of her app's architecture. Labeled as proprietary Sentinel Corps frameworks, they were planning to sue Softtech using these fakes, discredit her, sink her reputation, and dominate the market. Suddenly, her screen flickered. A security alert. She pulled out the USB and stuffed it in her pocket just as the door opened. A man entered. Victor Randall. He looked younger than she imagined. Immaculate suit, icy smile. Lucy Carter, he said. I'm disappointed. You could have worked with us legitimately. Now I'll have to ruin you. Adrian appeared in the hallway behind him. You already tried, Lucy said, stepping back. Walk away, Adrian said to Randall. You're done. Victor laughed. You think this ends with a USB drive? I've got enough firewalls to bury you in red tape until you're 50. Then let's make it public, Lucy said. She hit the shortcut on her phone. The live stream that had been quietly broadcasting everything including Victor's confession was now posted. Within an hour, the video had gone viral. By morning, Lucy was everywhere. Cybersecurity forums exploded. Softtech launched a press release defending her. Sentinel Corps' board suspended Victor pending federal investigation, but the damage wasn't over. Back at home, Lucy received a text. Olivia. What the hell did you do? They're coming for me too now. You're destroying the family. Lucy stared at it and deleted it. Her family had played a part, but the war she'd just won was far bigger. And it wasn't over yet. Because someone had funded Sentinel Corps' plot, someone in her past. She opened the forensic audit sent to her by Agent Callahan. A name popped up repeatedly across hidden shell company transfers linked to Sentinel Corps. James Holloway, her sister's husband. Lucy stared at the name. James Holloway, her former brother-in-law, the man who had pretended to be the victim of a betrayal, who had moved into her parents' house with stories of injustice and ruined careers. And now he was directly tied to the shell companies funneling money into Sentinel Corps. The sense of betrayal ran bone deep. Agent Callahan called within the hour. This complicates things, she said. James used aliases, offshore firms, and VPN routes that mimic foreign activity. It's deliberate misdirection. He's laundering money and feeding it into Victor Randall's illegal ventures. Lucy closed her laptop slowly. You need to arrest him. We're close. But we need more. Something that places him directly in decision-making. A recorded meeting, a signed wire transfer or correspondence that can be denied. Can you get close to him again? Lucy's throat tightened. I'll do what I have to. The next weekend, Lucy arrived at her parents' house unannounced. Olivia opened the door, clearly startled. Look who finally remembered where we live, she sneered. Lucy offered a half smile. I wanted to talk. No cameras, no fights, just clarity. Her parents were cautiously optimistic as Lucy sat at the dinner table, just like old times. Olivia watched her warily while James played his usual modest, sympathetic routine. You look good, James, Lucy said pointedly. I heard you've been doing some work with financial firms again. He nodded slowly. Just helping a few clients restructure, shell companies and restructuring. Sounds familiar, she replied. His face froze for a second. Barely perceptible, but enough. You're still bitter about the past, Olivia interrupted. Why are you here? Lucy leaned forward. I want to fix things for everyone. If we can work together, I can help us all come out of this clean. I just need to understand how deep this goes. James shifted in his seat. You think I'm involved in something? Lucy met his eyes. Aren't you? That night, James texted her. Meet me tomorrow. PM, City View parking garage. Come alone. She didn't go alone. Agent Callahan wired her up, and two unmarked cars followed from a distance. James waited in a dark trench coat, leaning against his car. You were always the clever one, he said as she approached. Too clever. That's your problem. You underestimated me, she replied. He sighed. I did. You were supposed to be the forgettable little sister with a savings account. Not a threat. Why do it, James? The laundering? The framing? Because I was drowning, he snapped. The company cut me loose. Olivia bled me dry. And your parents never said no to her. You think I wanted to be this guy? I tried everything else. But Randall, he made me an offer I couldn't afford to ignore. You betrayed me, Lucy said quietly. No, Lucy. I used you. There's a difference. Behind him, headlights flashed. He turned, startled. FBI agents surrounded the lot. Sirens didn't blare. This was quiet justice. James was arrested on the spot. The fallout was swift. Victor Randall's empire collapsed under federal pressure. James was indicted for financial conspiracy, fraud, and aiding cybercrime. Olivia pleaded ignorance publicly, but privately begged Lucy for mercy. Lucy didn't answer. Her parents, ashamed, wrote her a letter. No excuses, just remorse. They offered to repay what they could. Lucy didn't need the money. She wanted respect. And finally, she had it. Weeks later, Lucy stood on a stage at a national cybersecurity conference. She wore a sleek black dress, modest but bold. Adrian sat in the front row, beaming with pride. Their relationship wasn't perfect, but it was honest now. Rebuilt on truth. She began her keynote speech with a single line. Trust is the most valuable currency in the digital age and the hardest to recover once stolen. Thunderous applause followed. Lucy smiled. She had lost a family, but found herself. The shadows were behind her, and in front of her, a future she had earned on her terms.